Hey, hold up there now, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the Agri-Quiz segment, and I'm asking one of our farmers here, what does digital agriculture mean to you, sir?
I don't know nothing more that, sir.
There you have it. Hello, sir. 1 minute of your time, please. Could you tell us, what is digital agriculture?
Digital agriculture? Where's that?
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
So,
What does digital agriculture mean to you?
my understanding of digital agriculture is the technology that farmers use daily to advertise the produce. For example, I just use my cell phone to sell my crops online via Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, and all the social media networks I have.
Thank you very much, sir.
And this right here is this problem we have been encountering since doing this study in November 2019. We have been looking at the status of digital agriculture in Trinidad and Tobago for the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO. We are particularly looking at lettuce, patchoi, melongene, tomatoes, and hot pepper. But my question is, what exactly is digital agriculture?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live again, and this time with an expert, and we are about to ask, what is digital agriculture? Hi, good afternoon there.
Hi. So all around the world, digital agriculture systems are described as fully automated farm systems. Now imagine you have data being recorded on the farms, and then you're analyzing that real-time data in order to make timely decisions on the farm, which in turn boosts production. While conducting this study, we realized there are very few fully automated systems. What we have seen happening is that farmers actually utilize more individual digital agriculture tools in order to assist with their everyday tasks. So let's take a look at what farmers are actually using on their farms right here in Trinidad and Tobago.
I had experience in Canada for over 20-something years, working there on the farm program, and there I learned a lot about agriculture. So when I come back to Trinidad, I am using the technology and the knowledge that I have in overseas and bring it here to Trinidad. And I think this is what we are doing here in hydroponics. We are producing more and we're using less land. It's more safe because we do not use as much chemical as if you're planting on the ground. We use less chemical in this, and it's much more cheaper to run. We use meters to check our fertilizer, check our pH, check our temperature in the water. We use meters for that. And we also have pumps that we have timers on. And they will come on at what time we set them and come off, back at what time we need them to come off and things like that. So we have pumps like that. So it can be just a one-man running the system really. We just need laborers to package, cut and package your produce. Like I started it and now my children are running it now.
I got into farming after completing my undergraduate in business management and looking around in Tobago, wondering which industry to get into. And seeing that agriculture was touted around as something that persons should look to get into to feed the country, etc. I decided to do some research into it and recognizing that there were many opportunities because the market is basically wide open in Tobago because we import most of our food in Tobago. I did some further research and found out that there were many incentives and grants, etc. for farmers to get involved in agriculture. I decided to switch to hydroponic farming. Some of the advantages are it is a more controlled way of producing your crops. It uses less water, way less water, about 10% of the water as with conventional farming. It allows for, my setup especially allows for a customizable design, so it aids in reducing the labor intensity. You spend less time on your farm. I employ a number of digital tools such as timer. I have a timer that I use to control my pump to allow for automatic watering of the crops on a daily basis. I set the timer for basically 2 minutes twice a day. I also use testers to test the pH and the amount of nutrients in the water, the total dissolved solids.
In the past, we did normally traditional farming: tomatoes, sweet peppers, cabbages, pimento, and so on, by traditional methods. But at this point now, we started the lettuce in a very experimental way. We were doing something like 200 lettuce a week just to try to see how it went. And when we realized it was going well, we looked for a little market, little restaurants here and there for people to buy the lettuce. And then we started to have a bigger need. Okay, so what happened eventually is that we grew from 200 lettuce a week. Now we're doing 2,000 a week. And we couldn't really produce that amount, that quantity with the quality that we needed without using some method of digital farming.
The other thing is that we had to maintain competitiveness in terms of pricing. So in order to be competitive with human resource and product pricing, we had to implement digital methods. It's a family-owned business. Yeah. It started with my dad. We did, as I said, traditional farming some 30 years ago, but in about 2010, 2011, we started the type of infrastructure we have here now. We use some pumps that use less energy, consume less energy and higher output. We have been able to cut our electricity costs by about 25% using that. We have a sprinkler system. It's run by a PLC. We also have timers to take the system automatically on and off. A big one for us has been quality control. Because of the pH and conductivity analyzers, we've been able to manage the quality of the product, and if you look, you would see a very uniform product, and that's one of the big ticket items for us.
I used to buy lettuce and sell, and so I went out in the field itself and saw that, and that I admire that, and I always say that I want to start my own business. So then I come about doing hydro, because the soil too much pests and stuff else, but the hydro you don't have that. I started since January this year, 2020. So I am really excited, and I'm still excited. I want to just keep on growing. When you harvest your crop, all you do is just clean your pipes and plant back again. At first I feel awkward, to be a farmer, but then after it's what I like to do. If I had my own land, I would have do this a long time before January.
I do my research and I go into the hydroponic farming, because I didn't have a clue about no farming at all. So when I do my research, I realized that hydroponics is actually a farming where you need plenty space, less water use. So I went into it. I do a short course. I started off with 1,000 plants, which is approximately 250 heads, which are approximately 250 plants per week, because I planted in stages, so I'll always have every week. And now here I am at 8,000 plants, which is relevant to 2,000 heads of lettuce per week.
It all sounds really amazing, but what are the hindrances to using digital agriculture?
Some of the challenges I've had, and some of the most notable ones, were the incidence of fungus pressure, especially in the rainy season. That is a challenge that most, if not all, farmers experience actually. Insect pressure.
No, not everything. Means you can't go cassava in this, or sweet potato. You can't do that. But there's a lot of other crops that can grow in it. We do lettuce, we do kale. You can grow side. I grow tomatoes in it, I grow strawberry in it, I grow watermelon in it. You can grow a lot of crops. I can just keep calling it patchoi and all these things. You can grow in it. It's just you have to know what to do and how to grow it. That's the thing. And not everybody can do it, because I have seen a lot of people set them up, and afterwards they had to close them because they didn't know what they were doing. The only thing we will have right now is like when the temperature is hot, our water gets hot. And when the water gets hot, it slows down the plant in growing. It don't grow as fast as if the temperature is cool. What I would have liked to do is bring in what they call a chiller. It's a thing that we put into the tank, and that will cool the water. But to bring in that in Trinidad is really a problem.
trying to get land, which was very hard, which is still hard. Like learning how to control the diseases and the pests and stuff, that was real difficult because it's years now. Like I said, the farming badge is years now, and I said, and if somebody come out to see I have 8,000 plants, why it's so hard to give me a farmer's badge, even if it's for 6 months or a year and you could renew it or something? Need plenty young farmers, but all we actually need and all too is a little assistance. Give me some land, give me farmers, yeah, all them kind of thing. It will make it much better. Because look, I started this farm, no incentive. So imagine if I didn't get the help. Every year I might have about 20,000 plants.
We are bottleneck right now with water. We don't have a water supply, we don't have a water connection. We have applied and continue to apply year in, year out through WASA. We have tried to reach out to different agricultural agencies for assistance.
We know that there's a need for a greater good in life, you know, to provide food and to do something a little bit more meaningful.
Would you ask yourself, would you tell a child, okay, grow up to be a farmer? And when you get down to that nitty-gritty of it, you would tend to say no. So if you flesh it out, you have, let's say, talk about electrical engineering. You have power engineering, control engineering, telecommunication engineering. You specialize as an engineer. When you're a farmer, you have to specialize in marketing, you have to specialize in agronomy, you have to specialize in logistics, you have to specialize in business management. So there are
human resource management.
Human resource management as well in it. So there's a host of areas to specialize in. That if you miss one block, one specialty, your business tends to fail.
From even in the secondary school systems where you have agriculture being taught as a subject, it's not really being taught in the way that is practiced. So what is the reality in life is not what you learn in school. You do it by the way.
Fact remains that nothing has been really done to make agriculture an attractive profession or a decent industry. When currently 1975 was running, the GDP for agriculture was 6%, a mere 6%. So when you compare that and it's down to 0.5%, the marketing is off, there's no encouragement. There's nothing really to show that agriculture is something to aspire to in Trinidad and Tobago.
But if it is that a government is talking about a policy in agriculture, this is what the policy needs to enforce. A policy that is the problem, not with just one government, successive governments. Okay, we're given an incentive system. How is that monitored, measured? How is it improved every day, every year? How is it applicable, really? You know, because
there's a list of things on that you can't use it. And when you buy something, they say, okay, no, this is not on the list, but this is what you need.
So we wanted to know, what are some of the digital strategies that farmers use to track, record, and market their produce?
I just real market. I just pay for my ads on Facebook and Instagram.
An app on my phone, and my workers also use it too, whereby we input the day's tasks on the app, and as tasks are completed, they are ticked off, etc. So we could monitor. So in a sense, there's a record for looking back, historical purposes, and there's the record and guidance for the day. So I could be anywhere and see what is being done on the farm, etc. Well, spreadsheets, etc. to do recording of the different crops I have and to do my accounting.
Most of the things that we were doing is, for example, tracking in Excel data, tracking our cost to see how much it costs us to produce a lettuce, how much water, how much chemicals we use on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to come up with our pricing, because we didn't want to be, okay, we'll sell lettuce for $2 or $3 and let's hope at the end of the day we make a profit. You know, at the end of the day, this is a business and we want to be able to understand, we want to measure how we are spending and what money we could have at the end to improve other projects and so on, other things.
We have a platform and we develop spreadsheets where we look at return on investments, internal rate of returns, that sort of thing, to develop how and how much are we going to look at and do. We also use Microsoft Excel to track sales, purchasing, costs, capital costs, operating costs. We use basic internet and WhatsApp platforms for communication. It is, although you mightn't think about it, it is a very useful tool, and once used properly, it works well.
Now that you are inspired and have a better idea of what digital agriculture is, let's take a look at some of the advice our farmers have for you.
Find a market to sell your produce, a proper market, because sometimes people want to come and, like normal people just want to come and pay you next to nothing for your crops. So if you find somebody that buying crops like on a weekly, monthly, you know, you have a supplier then. You just supply them right through. I would highly recommend agriculture to young people. To all the ladies out there that may be listening to this, I would say this farming have nothing to be ashamed of. You know, it have nothing. Just be proud and independent of yourself, you know, because it's just something nice to do and you become a young business owner.
I would think that hydroponics is a good way to go because you use less land, as I said before, and your initial cost would be a little expensive, but after you did that cost, when you spend that money, you don't have to spend it again. Like in this, all I have to do with this is sanitize it and plant back right there again. You come in the morning and you see me pick this, you come back in the evening and you see a small one in front of you. You got to know, you got to learn, and it takes time to learn. You can't learn something like this in a month time or 2 days time, no.
First thing you need to know is what is available, what techniques, technologies and systems are available. Then you need to have an idea of scales of economy. You can't plant 12 lettuce and expect to spend $15,000 on a PLC system. That's just not right economics. So you need to consider scales of economy. You need to know how to use it. You need the support, the technological support, the after-sales support of the units and the pumps and so on.
You have to develop a framework to understand, okay, what do we need? Because in our drawing, because we did the drawings here before and so on, and then we had some adjustments. But you did the setup, you let it run manually, and then you know, okay, we need to have this adjusted, we need to have this timer here, we need to have this sensor here and so on, so that you understand, because it's a tailor-made solution.
Well, I could talk from my experience. What I could tell them to do is to get a mentor or mentors, persons who have walked the road before. It will save you a lot of time, energy, heartache, stress. Believe me, a lot of money it will save you. Get mentors, meet with people, talk to people, sign up for programs, take courses, whether it's online, whether it's in person, go anywhere you need to go once you're serious about this thing. All right, and focus on your business, focus on your numbers is important as well, especially if you want to scale, you need to know your numbers.
The thing is you will get challenges, but you cannot quit. Because you will do a course, and the course it will show you a lot, but still have to actually do your research and trial and error and stuff, because it's a learning process then. Because when I started, I had real hiccups. Like I do my research and I write down all my notes and stuff, and that is how I get better. And I will tell any youth to go into farming, because it's something that's very profitable. It's something where we just feel good doing, and you actually see in your money grow there. And it's a joy when you're planting, and it's a greater joy even when you're reaping. Knowing that you're in control of your own money, knowing that you could actually do something legal and make plenty money, just like if you're doing something illegal. Go right ahead. Go hard at it, and you can actually use me as a blueprint, because I started off this about 2 years ago, and look where I am now. It is hard work, yes, but in everything is hard work. And so once you have a positive mindset, you will become successful. Once you might need a doctor in your lifetime, once you might need a lawyer, but 3 times every day you sure need a farmer, so people have to eat, so you can never lose in this business, no how.
Happy Family Products is now involved in another aspect of agriculture, which is the supply of hydroponic systems and supplies in Tobago. All right, we entered into that because we would like for more persons to produce their own food in Tobago, whether home gardeners or commercial growers. right? We would like for persons to get into that. It might seem counterintuitive to my business model currently, but as it is right now, there is not a shortage of knowledge or ideas going around, you know. I would prefer to see more farmers farming in Tobago using hydroponics, especially the stacky system, because it's so versatile. I would like to see that taking place a lot more in Tobago. So therefore I decided to enter into that aspect of the business where I would now offer persons the opportunity. They get the knowledge, etc. from me because I have walked the road before, and they have a better chance of being successful.
So my company, Aquatic Solutions, what we currently do and what we offer, right, is professional training, consultation and advice to any interested person or organization that might want to utilize our services. We do it at all levels, right? In addition to that, we do full system design, installation, service and maintenance, and we supply equipment and services as well too, right? So we basically take care of all the needs in the field. You know, growing up, you're always planting up a little garden, and in addition to that, I always like fish, right, from way back when. It was actually while doing marine biology, one of the courses from there, tropical aquaculture, is then I realized for the first time in my life that aquaculture, you know, the rearing of fish, could actually be done on a professional level. All this while, I was building, experimenting, you know, doing different things with respect to aquaculture, aquaponics. There wasn't a single textbook that I didn't go through in the library. There wasn't a single online resource, YouTube video. So, you know, I kept studying and I kept going and adopting technologies, and I'm currently doing a PhD in crop science with a focus on aquaculture and aquaponics as well. And then, you know, when it comes to things like hydroponics, aquaponics, right, we could easily send those things fully digital. With digital technology and being incorporated into these types of systems, you could basically have everything automated, right? Through automation, you could basically in real time be able to monitor your nutrient solution, right? So you could tell whether, like, let me say your NPK, you know, if it's fluctuating, if your pH levels going above or below the optimum range, and you could actually have automated things in place, automated systems in place to do these adjustments for you. So what it does, it optimizes your production, it increases your productivity, and ultimately it increases your profitability, right? In addition to, like, it also trains sustainability as well, because now, because you have constant monitoring of things like your nutrient solution or your aquatic environment, you could basically be able to adjust, right, for any deficiencies along. Most of these systems, because they operate with the use of electronic equipment such as pumps and timers and stuff like that, there's an added cost as well as a burden on your resources in terms of fossil fuels for electricity and stuff like that. However, it's very easy to transform and adopt and adapt these systems to utilize renewable sources of energy. Right, so one of our goals is that we're going to go totally off-grid with the use of solar power as well as wind, right, to generate the electricity that would be able to power our pumps and all the equipment that we would need to operate. So we're basically going fully off-grid, right? And now what this will also do is open up a lot of opportunities for farmers in areas that don't have access to electricity. I may invest 10 minutes for the week just monitoring the nutrient solution with a digital meter that will give me a reading in a couple of seconds. Within that 10 minutes, I could do my nutrient adjustment, and there's nothing to do there again until a further week again. In 3 weeks to 4 weeks, I harvested a crop with on average 40 to 50 minutes investment for the whole production cycle. So in terms of time investment, it's something that's way 90 to 98% more conservative on time than traditional types of agriculture.
I got into agriculture by watching my grandfather grow. He grows lettuce as well, and you know, I was really fascinated on how his lettuce, you know, was coming big, and I said, let me come home and I asked Mom if she could build a trough, or I could use like some space in somewhere in the house out in the backyard to see if I could do some like cucumbers, and from after that I started, yeah, and I really liked it. Yeah, there are many difficulties that I'm having right now. One is with water supply. Right now I'm getting an inadequate amount of water to water my lettuce, you know, and that's really, it's really a bit frustrating, but hopefully by later on, like October, I should put a irrigation system in place. And what I would like to say to the young people out there, you know, just go for it, you know, and don't study if anybody is saying, you know, it can make sense you plant where you're planting for, you know. Just go for it, and I will be interested in learning digital agriculture, because while doing digital agriculture, I can manage other stuff in the garden. So when I get up on mornings, I turn on my switch, my irrigation system. I could like go down the road and get some grass, you know, and whilst getting the grass, my crops will be irrigated, you know, and it's getting more stuff done. You know?
Agriculture has money in it, you know. You just have to know how to do it. Like I says, I work in Canada, and it's only in the summertime you can plant in. Trinidad is a summer year round. So why can't we go in Trinidad?
Think about the one thing that will not change from now until the end of time. Everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs to eat. There's no one business that stands the test of time the way that agriculture would. One thing nobody don't choose to do is eat. Right? So there's business now, and there will be business in the future, because I can guarantee you there would always be a market for food, because everybody needs to eat.
There you have it, guys. This has been your ag reporting team, Alfama, Caesar, Angelica, on the status of digital agriculture in Trinidad and Tobago.